Alright, should be recording. I just want to see the file. I can also close that. Yep. And yes, I can hear it. I did believe yet last week. Hey, this is Going Medieval, Q provided by Tinsley PR for the Irregular Corporation. So last week I did believe that it was just my not being able to hear audio was I just need to restart the computer. So I put that off until today. The reason I did is I knew I don't like restarting the computer in case something goes wrong, but it's also I knew that Windows updates were coming, so it's like I'll just wait and restart then, because it would want to restart before recording anyway. And yeah, it's also kind of in a way it's worked out very nicely. I have a key for a review that I could have done last week. I have time. I have plenty of time to do it. I'll try to do this weekend. But it is good to know that the I'm hearing audio, because this game I can get away with not hearing stuff. I couldn't do it in that game. That no, that would not go well. Boy, I really would like to get everyone to Hall, but I can't. Anyway, so news of the week. There was really only one thing when it comes to the matter. Does that work? Okay, that does actually work, it seems. When it comes to the matter of. Oh wait, no, that. Damn. I wanted to only like select the mature, which it does seem, because yeah, that's. Huh. No, it's damn. I'm sorry, they really need to not have it be this way. They really need to. And I know, I keep complaining about this stuff. I'm going to keep complaining about it too. But it's just, it is so obvious to not have it be this way. Anyhow, there really is only the one thing of news this week, video game news this week to talk about. I mean, yeah, there are other things that are interesting, but there's only one that's this actually matters. And that is Unity deciding to change their licensing, and it's a terrible decision. I mean, oh my god! When writing it, I tried to not be putting my opinion in there too much. It undoubtedly isn't there, but it's like, yeah, I'm trying. But this may, depending on what they end up, how Unity responds, it could go down as one of the, this was one of the dumbest things that happened in the games industry. As it is, I'm sure it'll be one of the worst things to go down, no matter what they do. So, to explain, Unity, the game engine, right? Which I don't think this game uses it. It might, though. But no, I think Foxy Voxel is using their own engine. But Unity, the game engine, like any game engine, you need a license to use. Well, they have decided to change that license. And this is something that's going to be... technically, they have the right to do that. But they're doing it unilaterally, meaning that it's just going to happen. You don't have a choice. It's not as though developers can opt out of this, or opt into the change, rather. And what they are doing is they're going to require that excuse me. They're going to have you need to why are they not doing anything? Nope. Oh, I didn't even realize that was a thing. Cool. I honestly did not realize that was a thing. It's also really stupid, though, to do that. So what I just realized is you can clear on and off like that, but you have no ability to filter this list. So let's say I wanted to slaughter all the pet goats. Can't. That's not an option. I can't even have it only slaughter the goats. I'm saying, yeah, wow, that is... this so frustrates me with this game. There's so many things where it's like, yes, it's a good idea. I get what you're doing. You need to do it, like, completely, though. You need to fill out the entire system. Anyway. How do I have Wait, which is flaxseed? Carrot. Beet. Do I have any over here? I mean, I should. Yeah, flax. Huh. Alright. I need to build up this area more, I think. It's just not quite the easiest. Plus, I need things cleaned up. Anyway, so with Unity, I'm saying you need a license to use the software. That's, not unreasonable. That's how it is. But they're changing the terms of the license effective January 1st. And it's just, no, this is just what happens. The change in this case is every time a Unity game is installed, there's the potential for it to trigger a fee to be paid to Unity from the developer. Now, the reason I say a chance is because there are certain thresholds. The company has to have made so much money, the developer will have to have made so much money off the game, and so many sales of the game would also need to have... you'd need to cross the threshold in money and in installs. Okay? Which on its own, that's fine. Whatever, that seems fair, except... Actually, no, I take that back. It's not fair. It's all just a stupid, lousy system. I'm sorry, this is... I don't like Unity as an engine anyway for different reasons. Like, just, I've had performance issues, I've had stability issues with Unity games before that seem to just be because of the engine. Also, I really do like using, borderless window. But I can't, do that always so easily in Unity games. Sometimes you have to do a launch flag, and it's just inconvenient. I don't like that. So it's like there's also that, but there's also this dumb thing. So you've got thresholds where so many installs mean, hey, you have to pay. And it's retroactive as well. So you could have a game that released 10 years ago. You already paid your licensing fees concerning that. You've already paid potentially a lot for that because the old licensing fee would have probably been more along lines of having the I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think, and also watching the game. Trying to have... The old license would have been a, hey, once you made this much money, we start needing a cut of it. So basically a royalty. Well, not exactly royalty. Because, it might have been a royalty-based thing. Anyway, but a percentage or a flat amount for every sale. Okay? Probably a percentage. It would make the most sense. That would have to go back, okay? But it's also possible that in some cases the fees have already been paid, such that no, there's no more. With this and how it's retroactive, with the install thresholds, you could have at a game that at the lowest level for the license is $200,000 made and 200,000 installs. Once both thresholds are crossed, then the fee has to be paid. And it's 20 cents per install past that. Which I know, 20 cents doesn't sound like much, but this would actually, this game work. Among Us. Let's use that as the example. And there's a good reason why I'm picking that one. Among Us wasn't popular for a long time. It was out for years. But then the pandemic hit. And I don't remember who it was, but there was like one specific streamer that streamed it. And suddenly people became aware of the game. When that happened, it blew up because it was something that people could do during the pandemic with their friends despite not being able to see them. And it looked fun because of the streamers. That game was already out for years, is my understanding. And then it suddenly exploded. You could have that happen to a developer that gets an unexpected success. And now per install, they need to pay. In some cases, Among Us is free. They would still need to pay. There are games that are given away for free, like with Epic. Somebody needs to pay for that. Needs to pay those fees per install. There's also, it's very unclear to me, in the FAQ it does say reinstalls do not count towards the threshold limit. I'm not sure how true that is though, because no, I don't doubt it is true. What my doubt is what defines a reinstall. So take this game, okay? Let's say that there's a problem, like how I didn't have the audio last week. Well, I couldn't hear the audio. So let's say I verified the cache. In some cases, that is I'm reinstalling the game. In some cases, that's exactly what's happening. But now that presumably wouldn't count. But what if it's just I already own the game and I am reinstalling it after so many years of not playing it? Is that a reinstall that is exempt? I don't know. I legitimately don't know. That is a very important, worthwhile question. And it's unclear from what I'm seeing. From what I have seen. Yeah. So, what happens if it's, a game, suddenly you see a bunch of people reinstalling it? Now, even though the developer was paid once for that, they're now going to have to... A developer was paid once to own the game, but then somebody just installs the game years later. Now they may have to pay that fee. And it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. And why Unity would do this is absurd. It makes no sense. This is only going to piss people off. And it is. It is. And that's actually the thing I can talk more easily about than the actual repercussions of this. But here, let me just check my notes. Yeah, one person installing multiple times, developer will have to pay multiple times. That's a little unclear, as I said. But it is definitely, I've got the test system. If I installed a Unity game on the desktop and on the test system, there's 2 installs. So that's 2 fees. I've only paid for the game once. Because it's if I have it on Steam, very easy to install on both. Very easy. Okay. Ooh, I need to pick this up. So, but that counts twice. That is in no way fair to the developer. It's also, using Among Us as the example again. If that's in Unity, Unity runs on phones, on Android phones. Let's say I installed on my Android phone. Let's say I had an Android tablet, installed on that, installed on my desktop, installed on the test system, installed on a laptop. That's 5 different installs? For a game that I may have only... that's already $1 in fees. Okay? Right there would be $1 in fees for a game I only would have bought one time. And even then, you not even bought one time because, as I recall, it was actually free on Android. I was like, that's a major problem. And it makes a lot of sense why a lot of developers are like, we're out. And I'm dead serious. That is how some of them are responding to this, is we're out. They're not going to put up with this. They are deciding to... Various developers are actually talking about, we're just going to leave Unity. We're going to stop using this engine. And that is hard to stress how significant a decision that is. Okay, I tried to put it in what I wrote up appropriately, which is that it is changing an engine is one of the last things a developer wants to do. Okay, it really is. Some of the stuff I have witnessed as just a gamer, like Satisfactory, they talk to the community, that's an Unreal Engine 4 game, but the next major update, they actually want to move to Unreal Engine 5. They debated a lot about doing that, but ultimately decided that there were some things that Unreal Engine 5 would offer them that were desirable enough to go for it, to go for this massive change. And Unreal Engine 4 to 5 is not a terrible change. 3 to 4 was. Okay, moving from Unreal Engine 3 to 4 was basically we need to rebuild the entire damn game because they are so different of engines. Unity to Unreal Engine is going to be at least as difficult, very possibly harder. Okay, it's like this is something I don't know that well. I fully acknowledge that. But one aspect of it that I think a lot of people don't necessarily recognize, but is true to a degree at least, is you can't necessarily use the same assets in Unreal Engine and in Unity. Okay? It's not quite like, oh, I can just, copy over the JPEGs for these textures, or the PNGs for these. It's not necessarily that simple. Well, for textures it might be, but for the models, like the model for this tree, it's entirely possible if imported into Unity, or made for Unity, it's designed in one way, but in order for it to, is that actually gonna... Oh, good. I wasn't sure if that would work. Or if the thing there would block it. But you could not then take the asset from Unity and put it into Unreal. Like, that isn't how it works. For many assets, at least. I don't know if it's all, I don't know how many, but I do remember that being a concern. Although, to be fair, that was also a concern years ago, so it may be better. But it still is, the way you script things in Unity is going to be completely different from Unreal. And that, by the way, was also part of the reason why Unreal 3 to 4 was so terrible, because you went from Kismet to Blueprints. Wildly different systems. Wildly different. Okay, let's get rid of that. It's in the way. What else I want to do is actually get rid of those and then put a ramp in on that side. So I can just like clear out all this. Oh, I completely forgot that there was even a settlement, there was even a merchant. But yeah, I mean, it's developed, so yeah. I know. I get distracted in the game. Arguably, I shouldn't be doing the games, but it's like it gives video. And sometimes it helps with things being interesting. And sometimes, I can use it to explain things. But anyway. They're developers. Oh yeah, coming back to the whole, I've seen the debate with Satisfactory, should we go to Unreal Engine 5? And they ultimately decided yes. It wasn't easy for them, but they did decide that. As opposed to just continuing with Unreal Engine 4. No, there. Now, the game Viscera Clean Detail was made in Unreal Engine 3. And the developers are going to do a sequel, I think they have said it will be. They're going to do more with the property, with the IP. And there's the debate, how do we want to do this? Do they want to keep with Unreal Engine, or do they want to go to something else like Unity? They decided to stay with Unreal Engine. A newer version, yes, but they will be using Unreal Engine. And it's like, that's something that they had to decide very early. Because you don't want to change these things. I mean, it really is when the last things any developer wants to do is change an engine. They sometimes don't even want to update engines, all right? Like my own experience when I was in QA, I was not party to the conversations, but I was aware of some of the stuff discussed concerning engines, and this was Unreal Engine 3. Heavily modified Unreal Engine 3. But Unreal Engine 3 nonetheless. And it was... The debate over changing was basically, we can't. The tools are too involved. We can't go to a different engine. because they couldn't possibly spend the time, spend the resources rebuilding all the tools. Even just to go to something like Unreal Engine 4 was not viable for them. I'm saying and also in that case, I'm pretty sure they couldn't even update the base version of Unreal Engine 3 because it would break so many of the tools. Okay? Despite that reality, there were developers saying, yep, we are actually going to stop using Unity for what is in development now and start over in a different engine. Or developers saying, not in relation to any current development, but that, yeah, we've been working with Unity for 10 years. We're going to look elsewhere now. Those skills that they developed working in Unity will not translate to Unreal Engine. Same thing going Unreal Engine to Unity. They're two different. But they are so fed up with, so feeling betrayed, which is more so what I meant by fed up with, by Unity. They so hate this. Hate the situation. It's like, yes, we will put some of these decisions, especially for a small company, would be, if it's a small company and they don't have a very good publisher that would be willing to work with them through this, there will literally be some of them that will collapse, that at least risk collapsing because of the time it will take them to get up to speed in a different engine to get this all working, to be able to do it all. I'm serious, like 10 years, that's what everybody knows how to work with. And now, no, we're going to stop, we're going to use something else. There's a very real, significant risk there that it in the time would take them to get to a project, to get a project built up such that it could sell, that the company would run out of funds first. Now that is something that some publishers will be able to help with. There will be some publishers that will be like, okay, yeah, don't worry about it. We will write you checks so you can get through this. That is part of, in some ways, that is actually part of the purpose of a publisher, is to help provide resources during major changes like that. Okay. At least I'm pretty sure it is. I could be wrong on that. It's entirely possible, but no, I'm pretty sure, because I know that with like bigger names like Rockstar would just get checks written to them by 2K because of how successful, how powerful Grand Theft Auto that franchise is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I want to get rid of one more here. Oh, yeah, we'll just do it that way. And some publishers would be willing to do that for other studios. But if it's smaller, it's going to be a lot harder for them to be willing to do that. But it's also, I saw, there's apparently a tweet from Devolver Digital, indie publisher, that was like, well, I guess technically they are, Devolver Digital itself is independent, but it specializes in publishing independent games, saying that, yeah, you're going to have to tell us what engine you're using now whenever you pitch a game to us to publish. It's like, yeah, it's a big deal, because some of that they might be responsible for, depending. Like, if a developer were to fold, the publisher might be on the hook then for any fees, any licensing fees, because they would be the ones with the IP then. So, I mean, yeah, it is such a mess. And it's if nothing else, an unforced error. To put it nicely, it is an unforced error. This is the repercussions that Unity is going to face from this are things it would never have needed to. But somebody made this decision, and they're going to have to deal with it. And it's, as I ended with a news item, this is something that it is going to change the games industry. It legitimately is, because for a long time, Unity and Unreal Engine were basically the two go-to engines trying to remember what I have down here. Yes, I would have beets. I think it would be... No, flax I just put down. I think it would actually be red currant. That's next. Or herbs. I think I'm more interested in red currant, though. There it is. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Who... I don't even remember. There was a way to find out. Oh, yeah, I don't even need that then, do I? Speechcraft 7, 7, 5, 16. 5, 4, 4. So yeah, you're the one needs to do this. Alright. I actually am very tempted to get rid of cats. I have so many. I have so many. You know what? We can keep 2. I really don't need so many of these things. Yeah, I guess keeping 20, I should do it that way. Okay, I'm not too concerned with that. Nope, no. So just keeping 20 of any seeds. How many did I keep of the saplings? Kept 2. Okay. Oh, well, actually, I'll just keep all those. Okay. Oh, you can sort by amount. Neat. Yeah, I'm not getting rid of the... cattle, the cow. Where are the cats? I shouldn't do that, because I can't sort through them either. Alright, well, here, let's... I think I should just start taking gold, to be honest. Yeah. There's probably more I could sell, but anyway. I don't remember. I know I was on some kind of point, or rather rant, about the, I didn't realize it is summer. Winter, I mean. Ugh. I am all kinds of screwed up right now in my tongue. Ugh. I know I was talking about how, yeah, there are developers that... Oh, man, that's true. So I just realized that, these are going to get covered in snow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so that is the correct width. There. When did this become a thing? I'm not using it here, but when did that become a thing? Nope, that is salt. Okay. Well, wait, is it? Well, now that'll be fine. That'll be... And there. Well, ah, damn it. I didn't realize that that was going to cancel those as well. There. But yeah, I mean, it's... I think I was just talking about how this is going to have such an impact on the games industry, and it is. It truly is, because so many developers are just like, yeah, we're not... So many developers are feeling betrayed by this, because, as I'm pretty sure I did say, this is a change that they're just going to be forced to do. This isn't a change that they can opt into or not opt into. They can't use the old license, including for properties that they were developed under that license. Like, because of that, a lot of them are feeling betrayed. And I don't know if you can tell them they're wrong. So, yeah, they are very unhappy, and that's going to lead to a lot of people not using Unity anymore. I was like, for a while, it seemed like it was always Unity or Unreal Engine. That was the choice for a lot of developers. Do they want to use Unity, or do they want to use Unreal Engine? Because they were both accessible to basically everyone. But now it may prove a boon for Unreal Engine. It may prove a boon for others. I don't know what other engines there are that are mainstream. I mean, it's like there is the Godot engine, but I think that that's not quite what people would want to go to. So, yeah. Sorry. I should also actually put down braziers. Where are those? Here they are. Although, hang on. What kind over here? I want to use the same kind. I don't know why the audio is cutting out like that. Fortunately, a lot of these are without fuel. There was, at one point, a way to make coal. I just don't remember what it is. Because, I mean, you can. Charcoal is not that hard to make. You just burn wood until it carbonizes. And you do want that. It's actually a very good thing. Charcoal has the advantage of... because it's basically all carbon at that point, it's very consistent in its burning. So that's part of the reason why you will use it for cooking, because you can trust the temperature. Well, also for foraging and other things, because you can trust the temperature and the behavior. Yeah, I mean, it's also why, like, for my dad, he uses charcoal briquettes, because those have been formed and so are going to be even more consistent. But you can also get where it is still like just the wood that's been carbonized and use that. And I'm sure there are plenty of people that say, no, that's a better way if you're going to grill or barbecue or something. I don't have a specific opinion one way or the other on that. I do understand what my dad's reasoning is. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, lovely. I just got another review key, it seems. Technically do have time for this one. I don't know how much I'm interested in this game, though. Oh, no, it's this game. I was thinking it was a different one. We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, I'm not going to name the game because I never want to name a game if I don't know. Well, for one thing, I don't know how much. My understanding is it wouldn't violate embargo for me to list off all the games I got keys for. But I don't want to accidentally commit to a game, to reviewing a game when I might not be able to for one reason or another. For example, the game this weekend, if I wasn't hearing this one, if I wasn't hearing Going Medieval, I would not be doing a review this week. Well, I could, but I wouldn't. It would be different because I wouldn't be able to record the game. And it's like that would be. I record games when I play them, when I review them. So it's like, no, I don't want to lose that. Don't want to give that up. Okay, I was trying to figure out what the hell am I hearing? Okay, so that should be warming things up. Can I get somebody to... Okay, here, you. Again, it's such an obvious quality of life change. Just let me say, hey, this needs to be refueled. Somebody come and do it now. Oh, I didn't even realize that these are priority medium. Very high. Okay. Yeah, so going back to the whole thing about it's going to change the games industry because you're going to see a lot of developers just deciding not to touch Unity anymore. Period. That is, I mean, if my estimate is right, and I don't know that it is, but it certainly did seem for a long time like... The heck? Huh. Oh, no, wait, no, that's... What? Okay, that's not right. Because this is wicker graded floor. But it's counting just the wicker floor as well. No, come on. Well, here, let's... There. I've been meaning to do this for a while, by the way. Pull all those up and replace it with more of the limestone floor that is already there. And I do think it will get done sufficiently quickly that I don't need to worry about anything decaying. Actually, it's already almost done. Wow. Yeah, like chances are these last 6 are just because they want to go to bed. Huh. The cats are kind of funny right now. Yeah, so this unforced error that this may lead to Unity collapsing. Because who's going to want to use it? Yeah, why are you guys not? I know I selected for it all. I don't know why some did not. But at least it is a new day, so hopefully a lot of that will get taken care of. Yep. So also, wow, I got a lot of linen cloth, don't I? I should probably start, you know, really expanding the tailoring. Okay. In theory, there. Winter clothes, summer clothes, winter hat. There should also be like that. There. Resources is not a problem at the moment. But I should do that because then I'll have a bunch I can sell. Anyway, but yeah, so it's hard to imagine at this point any developer choosing to go to Unity. Like a new developer, somebody that has the experience and figures, we'll be fine, this license change isn't going to hurt us, that's one thing. But I mean, like, new developers starting out might be like, yeah, this, if all these professional guys that, you know, have already achieved what we're trying for are saying no, maybe we shouldn't. And it is just, I mean, some of the developers have basically been rather clear that, to their opinion, no, they feel betrayed by Unity. It doesn't matter what they're going to do, how Unity may respond. They're done. They're out. They're not going to use Unity anymore. I mean, it's... And this is going to have such an impact. It's not even... It's not even funny. Because it will very possibly lead to... Sorry, I wanted to check the time in OBS. Lead to the collapse of Unity. Potentially. I don't know. It's just... This kind of backlash, this kind of outcry from developers is not healthy for any company. And as I was trying to stress about the significance of changing engines, the fact that they are entertaining this so seriously, and so many of them, it's a very big deal. Why does it look like he doesn't have clothes on? Oh no, they're just colored. Okay. It's like that is... It's not a good sign for Unity. It's probably one of the worst signs possible. At least there's one thing, which is potentially, you will see new engines. A new engine to replace Unity come up. And it might be good. I don't... Okay, it will. Good. So once they build that, then this stuff can be finished off. Yeah, I mean, it's... No, that's not good. And I actually should also raise their intensities up. It's like I do kind of want, you know, the animals to survive. Unfortunately, that change happens right away. So. Oh, wait. Hey, I just realized something. All the windows are open. And we can pop Steward up to help with that. Even though it is middle of the night already. but yeah, it's the nice thing about capitalism and business and private business like this is if Unity does collapse, as I was saying, we may see a new engine come up. Maybe it already exists and it's just it'll become more prominent. I don't follow game engines too closely. I do have an understanding of them, but it's possible you'll see something that already exists come up, or some developers deciding, hey, we're going to start over. We're going to start our own. I mean, it's also, if Unity collapses, where are the employees going to go? The engineers that build it. Well, they may decide, hey, we'll do this over again. We'll do this all again, but not make the bad decisions. It's like that's entirely possible, and that's not a bad thing for any industry, technically. I mean, it kind of reminds me of something from, why are they not closing? Oh, wait, they don't need to yet. They saw discussed concerning IBM, Intel, and AMD. That Lisa Su was initially at IBM, or at least she spent time at IBM, and IBM had a program for bringing up executives. And it was, you know what, we're near enough the end. I think I will actually just save here and stop. I'll finish what I'm talking about, but that basically IBM did teach its people that were on the executive track, as she was, to just lead in a certain way that was cooperative, still competitive, but cooperative. So trying to raise everybody up, which is part of and so if you were trained by IBM, you were well wanted and respected when going to other companies. And I mean, look at AMD. She has been the CEO and president of AMD for how many years now? I mean, quite a while, and it's doing a very good job. Intel, on the other hand, has a more bloodthirsty kind of approach with their executives. And this I saw it was a while ago, but talking about how you see a lot of their executives will basically try to undercut other executives. Like one vice president would try to do things that would undercut another, because if it makes them look better, that allows them to advance. So it wasn't about trying to bring everybody up, it was just about bringing themselves up. That's not healthy. Okay, that really isn't. The trying to teach people to work together, be cooperative, be competitive, but your goal is to bring everything up. That is healthy, and that potentially, if Unity collapses, is what you'll see basically happening, is people that want to work together will just go elsewhere, bring these skills with them, and bring it up. They'll go into developers and be like, yeah, I used to work there, but I can still do work for you here, and work with people. But if they're more bloodthirsty, I don't know what'll happen. It may not be so good for them. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting times, and even if Unity collapses, it's not going to be the end of everything, end of Unity. But, and this is all hypothetical, but it's just, it doesn't have to be unhealthy. It doesn't have to be, in the long run, bad. But it's still, this was a very bad decision. I mean, it's like, why would anybody do this? Oh, man. I mean, I get the whole, if you want to say, well, they want to make money, they're greedy. It's like, yeah, but it's a stupid greed. Because it's like, it would have been very easy to recognize, this is going to piss people off. They're going to leave us, and we're not going to get these fees. And also, I would not be surprised. I do wonder a little bit with the legality of Unity changing these terms and making them retroactive. In that, especially if any of the companies actually signed a contract, and I don't know, because a lot of it is just like terms of service, where it's like to just use something at all, you have to check off, and it's like that on its own should actually be considered abusive. Because you are coerced. It's like if you need to use this product for something, but then it's like, then you have to use it. But if you're also like, yeah, I don't want to sign over my firstborn child, but I have to use it, it's like that's, there are problems there. But if it, there might be lawsuits that might be able to argue that, hey, these changes are not something that can be done unilaterally. It's something that has to be approved of. And if anybody signed a contract, because then that's also a definite, hey, we signed this contract. We did not sign the contract you're changing it to. We signed this contract. You need to obey this one. But I don't know. I don't know. It might be just terms of service based, where basically your accepting of it is your signature then. Of course, it could also be funny if there are any developers that decide to have some fun with it and like print out the license agreement, go through and make changes to it, sign that, and you also like need to initial the changes, something like that, send it back and get Unity to sign it. Because I mean, technically you can do that with a contract, is you can make changes to it, and if you just need both parties to ultimately agree to the final version there, and it will be legally binding. At least that's my understanding of when I learned a little bit about contracts many years ago, that you can do that. But I mean, that's not an option with terms of service kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what legal ramifications there might be, but I could see an argument being made that, and maybe some developers would have some success, that, hey, they're changing this stuff retroactively on things. We finished work on this years ago, and they're like, hey, we have to now start paying them new money. And it's like, why? We're done with this, we moved on. How does that work? Or, oh boy. Oh, I just thought of something. What about games where the IP has changed hands? Oh, because then you might have a situation where the new owner never actually agreed to the license. All they bought was the IP. Technically, some of the stuff would transfer, but they might still be able to argue that if we had known this would have happened, we would never have gone through the purchase or whatever. Oh, man. The retroactive stuff is legitimately the worst of this. If they didn't do that, a lot of developers would probably still have left Unity, but it would have been a, going forward, we're not using Unity anymore. Not a, holy crap, we need to stop right now and never go to them again. I mean, it's... Oh boy. But yeah, I do wonder now, how will developers or publishers or any organization that purchased an old Unity game, how are they going to handle this? Because that does happen. You do, I mean, not just like the THQ collapsing, so companies buy up a lot of the properties. It's not just that. That there would be small things as well, and some of it is kind of weird where, and I know of places that have done this where the original company that did the work basically goes defunct. It still exists, and still owns stuff, but then there's another company that's formed that then owns that company, and it's just, there's reasons for it. I don't understand them. They're weird. But you can see stuff like that where an IP technically is with the original creator company, which is now a shell, and they license to the new company formed by the same people. And it's just, there's weird stuff that I have no idea how some of that would work, though, with the transferring of who pays the fee. I mean, as it is, there's already confusion that was being talked about concerning what do you do with subscription stuff like Game Pass. Yeah, and here, let me actually pull it up, because now that I'm out of the game, I have easier access to it. Where, from the Unity FAQ on this, wait a sec. Will developers be charged the Unity runtime fee for subscription-based games? No, in this case, the developer is not distributing it, so we're not going to invoice the developer on subscription-based games. Example, Apple Arcade, Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, Netflix games, etc. That's what they say, right? Here's the problem. What are they not saying? Who is paying it? In this case, the developer is not distributing it, so we're not going to invoice the developer. So it's who's distributing the runtime. And that's basically what they're saying is, hey, the runtime is our thing. That's what runs the game. So we're just going to charge based on that. Okay, that's what they're saying. But and I do make the point that it's like something like this, like Xbox Game Pass, they're going to pass that cost on to somebody. And even if it's only 20 cents per, it's still, they don't want to be paying that. So they'll probably pass it on, maybe to the developers, maybe to the consumer. I don't know. But this is just such a mess. And also, I don't remember who it was or where it was. I saw one developer saying, because they had their game actually be free on Epic Game Store for a time. And they said, yeah, Epic does pay for that. The developers do get money to do that. Okay. And the developer was saying, yeah, we would have to pay 3 times what Epic paid us to be in that to cover this fee. Okay. Which, true, that means that, it's not even 20 cents per install. Wow. Well, to be fair though, some of those games, Epic would be saying, hey, your game that maybe only sold 10,000 of, we want to do the free thing here. We'll give you 10 million for it to do that for a week. And they're going to see a massive new install base there because it's free. But it's like, a huge boost of revenue into the company where it's into the developer. So, but it might work out where even at, well, no, let's say 10 million. Let's say they pay 1 million, but there are 10 million, 20 million, 30 million people that end up picking up the free game. That might work out to, less than 20 cents per install then, per game. Well, per claim on the free game. So, yeah, it's... it's nuts. It is absolutely nuts. Because, will this fee apply to games using Unity runtime that are already on the market on January 1st, 2024? Yes. The fee applies to eligible games currently in market that continue to distribute the runtime. We look at a game's lifetime installs, and by the way, they're not saying how they're tracking that. They're saying, they do say, because there's a question, is it compliant with GDPR and CCP? Well, CCPA, I mean. And they say that, yeah, it's completely legal with privacy laws and in full compliance. But it's like, yeah, yes, the fee applies to eligible games currently in market that continue to distribute the runtime. We look at a game's lifetime installs to determine eligibility for the runtime fee. Then we will bill the runtime fee based on all new installs that occur after January. Okay, so that's, I don't remember noticing that before. So it is only the new installs. So technically, all the previous installs would be grandfathered in. They wouldn't have to pay on that. So that's important. And I'll try to go back in to the write-up to make sure I have that clear, because that is very significant. There is only the new ones, but it still is if you have an install base that you're not making more money on, that's at 200,000, or let's say 1 million, because that's actually where the cutoff is for the higher licenses from Unity. And it's like everybody installs it new, or it just suddenly picks up. If that's a 10-year-old game, you're now owing money on a game that you have long since moved on from. It's this is not going to be good. There was another thing. What was it? That I remembered. There is a... Oh, yeah, that's right. It does not apply to charity offers, or at least some bundles. Or charities or charity bundles will not count towards the fee. But it is also... do fraudulent installs or install bombing count towards, and pirating? And it was basically we don't want to count those. We are not going to charge a fee for fraudulent installs or install bombing. We will work directly with you on cases where fraud or botnets are suspected of malicious intent. Here's the problem that I see with that. How are they going to know? Is that Unity that's going to be observing that? Or is it the developer? In which case, is the developer then going to have to file some paperwork with Unity to be like, hey, we think that a lot of these installs were fraudulent. Okay, what happens then? Do they have to pay the fee and they get a refund? Or do they not have to pay the fee until it's resolved and then have to pay in case Unity decides, no, those weren't fraudulent? And it's also, what if Unity just starts deciding, no, those weren't fraudulent, and what if they were? I mean, it's like, it's, oh boy. Especially because this is Unity is going to be the one having the data. They're saying that they are the ones that will have the data. They're not saying the developers. This is why having be more of a, hey, once you cross $200,000, once you cross $1 million made on this, we want some money back. That's easy to track because the developer knows how much money they're making. They might be juggling books, which is a separate issue, but it's like, that is going to be known. Sales figures like that are going to be known because the company has to know. They don't necessarily know installs. They know sales. So yeah, it's I mean, it would be like using books as an example for the point I was just talking about. I know how many books of mine have sold. Basically 0. There's only one book that I've had that any moved on. Although technically, because I had it free on Kindle for a while, and that actually sold a lot there. Okay, but let's just say the printed books, which actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure. No. I know one actually sold. There was one copy that did sell, that was printed. But let's just say 0. Well, no, the reality is 0. Sorry. Let's say 10. 10 sold. I would get paid on that. They might never be opened. They might never be read. But it's still, I would get paid for the 10. What Unity is saying here is essentially, every time somebody opens up that book and starts reading, you need to pay it. That I would need to be paid then. That's the request I would have. Every time somebody opens up the book, I need to be paid for that. It's like, well, what if it's something like it's somebody's favorite book and they read it at one time every year? God, I doubt that'll ever happen. I'm a good writer. I'm not that good. At least I don't think I am. If somebody tells me I am, fine, I'll believe them for themselves. I won't believe that for anyone else. I might also think they're crazy or drunk. Anyway, but imagine that. So I'd have to be paid every year, even though the book was printed once for them? I mean, it's like, what? That makes no sense. It's absurd. And it's also, what if I wrote a really dense book, and it's like somebody really wants to read it, but it's like they can't get past the first chapter because it's really, really dense. I don't write like that, by the way. I can't get through dense books. At least not easily. So I've gotten better, but oh boy, there's some. Oh. I remember being taught you don't want a sentence to be the length of a paragraph, but then I find some books where that's exactly what they're doing. And I paid money for that. I'm not even the one writing it. Come on. Anyway, it's absurd though. This idea that it would be when somebody opens the book to start reading it, each time the writer has to be paid. Even if you can't track that accurately, it still's the printer only got paid once. How is that fair? It's just really, really dumb. And there will be consequences from this. I'm sure Unity's already facing some of it. Yeah, and let me, well, I don't think... Another piece of news from this week, I had... ARM had its IPO. Man, I wish I had gotten in on that. I'm just trying to... Like, if it's publicly owned, its stock values would be garbage right now because of this backlash. And some of that would be exaggerated because that does happen with the stock market, but whew. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia thing. Wikipedia entry for it. I would assume if it... Oh no. Oh, you're kidding. It actually is public. Oh. Oh my. Oh man, I have to look at this. It's gone up. What? Well, gone up for today. I don't know how to read all this stuff. Whoa. Wow, that's actually really surprising to me. Over this past week, it has not actually moved that much. I mean, yes, it has moved some. It on Monday was at $38.25, then 37, then 38.18. It was 37.44, 38.18. Yesterday, well, Thursday, I should say, because this comes out on Saturday. It opened at 35.51. Ooh. It closed at 30.71. But it's also, I'm just looking at the volume. Oh, man. Monday had a volume of about 6 million. Tuesday was 13 million. Wednesday, 18.5 million. Thursday was 14.7 million, 14.8 million. Oh, my God. It's... I didn't realize this is publicly traded. This is... I'm surprised it hasn't actually cratered. I mean, it does look like there's a downward trend. It might just be we're looking at it too soon. But this is... what Unity is selling... Let me try to explain why I'm like, this is going to go bad on its stock value. And boy, I really have been rambling for a while. The developers are the customers. So the fact that you have developers saying we're going to abandon it does mean that they're losing customers. So this value is going to come down, at least until Unity makes some change to this, somehow addresses this. But even then, it's still going to just... It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. I'm just surprised that the hurting hasn't really taken shape here, unless it's Unity is just was not that overvalued to begin with. I'm getting a drink of water. Now I'm just trying to figure out how some of this graph is working. It's on the New York Stock Exchange one. I'm just trying to figure out when this low was. Back in May. Okay. It's just weird because there's like two different time scales very near each other. Okay, so we had a low back beginning in May at around $25. The actual low in the graph that I'm seeing is actually goes back to November when it was about 23. But yeah, no, I would definitely think that it's gonna go down further because, as I said, the customers are the developers, and the developers are saying we're out. Some of them will stay if Unity changes, but a lot are gonna leave. It is also true though that there'll be enough developers that are so many years into a project and like we're not gonna abandon this project or try to start over. We have to finish it. We can't take the hit in time and resources to start over. Although they might be like, yeah, but hey, we're going to cut this team in half. This half keeps working on the game. That half learn Unreal or something like that. That may be happening this weekend, next week. Well, no, it wouldn't because they would be desperately considering all engines. But I mean, wow, I am genuinely surprised. I would have thought that the impact would have been faster, but it will be felt for a while. I mean, it's you see with some movies as well where production finishes and then it's a year or two later before it actually comes out. In some cases, that's because of the amount of effects and such that they need to do, but sometimes it's also they can be lower priority. For something because, hey, we don't think the market wants this kind of movie, or hey, we want it to come out at this time. Oh, wait, we can't do it at that time because somebody else is planning a movie that time. That'll grab it. I mean, scheduling is a bitch in some things. Anyway, I should stop looking at this stuff. I'm take care of things. But yeah, this is, as I said, this is the news story of the week for the games industry, and it will turn out all right. Because, as I was saying, mistakes like this that can be catastrophic, they happen. they're bad, but they happen, and the people still have talent, the people still have skills. So ultimately, they will be able to continue on. They will find a way to keep doing it all. Keep jobs. They might just have to be new jobs somewhere else, but it's like it will all work out. It might not be easy getting there, but it will work out. And for those of us that aren't being directly impacted, it will be interesting to watch and see what happens. And how quickly some of it happens. So, yeah. See you next time. I got nothing more. And as it is, I'm already rambling. So yeah, see you then.